No, we don't have a question. Jeez. What's going on, Mecha Army? Welcome to the Chowder Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Chowder Mecha. Welcome. It is Thursday. We are going to jump back into this Team SD Buildoff and continue working on that. So, yeah, fun stuff. Now, real quick, Cullen Barr, he's over there on YouTube. He says, checking in from the hospital bed. No Gunpla, hashtag feels bored, man. Bored, man. Colin, what's going on, buddy? You alright? Let us know, man. Checking in from a hospital bed, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I'll be honest with you. Let us know, man. Hope you're good, right? But, yeah, so today, dingoes. It's a dingo day. Didn't steal my baby or anything, so been good so far, right? Hey, if you guys want to pick up one of these amazing white dingo hats, hit up www.shotofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this hat, many more, shirts, prints of my work, all sorts of cool stuff. So go load up. It's that stimulus money time of year. Let's go, right? If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are going to be working with here today, man, I highly suggest you hit up that little thing here on Twitch and that little link down there on Twitch and YouTube, right? And go take a look at that stuff too, right? We got, like I said, ooh, here we go, Colin Barr. Heart failure due to HPV. Oh, man, taking a life pause to get tests done and figure stuff out. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything comes out okay. Shit. I'm very sorry, man. Very sorry to hear that. I mean, get as best as you can, man. Get better, right? Get better. So we'll be pulling for you, buddy. We'll be pulling for you. Well, just best thing you can do, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, I guess, right? Hell yeah. So, anyway. The Amazon link. I get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. It definitely helps to, definitely goes to help me, help out the stream, all of our future endeavors and everything. So, yeah. And then last but not least, if you are interested in kits or paints, accessories, tools, Mecha Decal Sheets 1 and 2, they are in stock and shipping now. Our good friends right down here at USA Gundam Store. They're going to have what you need. Hit up Adam and the fine crew down there, definitely. So, yes. Now, I have to ask, Armida, what? Dog hat? What is that? A husky top hat? What? I don't even know what does that even mean? Miss Tex Marquise, everybody. I guess it's as good as mine. I don't even know. Anyway. Oh! I got you. I got you. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. They don't make a dingo emoji. Sue me. Top dog. Or a snapback. Yeah. It took me a second. I was like, what? A dog and a hat. Dog and a hat. Dog and a hat. Why a dog and a hat? And then I'm like, because I have a dog on my hat. Alrighty then. Moving along. We're going to jump back into this whoa. Hey, that came out straight out of the gate. Dalton Hanberry, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Mecha Army. You get, as soon as we load up the button, you get one of these. Yeah. Tex says, well, I laughed. At my expense. What else is new, right? Anyway, Armida, you streaming tonight? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, I guess we'll find out, right? All right, so camera 2. Let's go. There we are. All right, so last time we were together, which is just yesterday, we worked on this little guy right there, right? Oh, come on, John Lynn. Already? This is just like straight out of the gates. John Lynn, Miss Sweet Baby Jade, creeping freely for you too. With the $5 super chat. I appreciate that, John Lynn. She says, kill it, Tim. That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. Armida says, ugh, yes. Well, I mean, shit, I'm not sitting here twisting your arm to stream. Damn. You don't gotta be all like that. Shit. Alright, bear with me 1 second, folks. Let me get this. There we go. Now we got the monitor orientated. But, John Lynn, thank you. Thank you. Hey, real quick. Let's reload this button here real quick. My stream deck is being dog slow today. Here we go. Yeah, that's for Jay. That's for Jay. John Lynn says, I'm going to be on Twitch tonight. What? John Lynn, send me your official schedule. DM me or something like that, because I don't. There was questions about what days you were streaming, going to stream and everything, but just send it to me, and I'll get that on the schedule and everything, the streaming schedule that we got. So, let's see. Tex Marquis says, just in an mood with streaming. I get less done when I am, obviously. Well, true. Yeah. If you don't want to, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that. Simple as that, right? There we go. All right, so with that being said, let's get into this here, shall we? All right, so we went ahead and we worked on this yesterday. We scribed some snappy little lines down here on this little flippy flappy deal right underneath the psycho frame. We separated this top part here, scribed in that little notch, and just overall kind of pulled this look together, right? Looks pretty good. Yo, look at this guy. The channel 2001, Mr. David. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for that follow over there on Twitch. Appreciate that. Dave, you get one of these too. There we go. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. All right. So, I think we're gonna obviously work on something different here, which is this right here, the back skirts. Yeah. So we'll take off the little side deals here if we can. Tight in that poly cap there, for real. All right, there we go. We're going to put these off to the side. We are going to focus on the back skirts today. Yeah? Because these are just stupid plain, right? Just dumb. They have no nice crispy details at all. They've just got these dumb boxes here. Like, why? Right? Just, bleh. Anyway, we're going to work on that. We're going to detail these up, and we're going to try to get these done here today. Or at least one side, right? Yeah. Excuse me. Dave's over there says, the channel says, yo! What's going on, man? Thank you for following. Robert Cottrell's over there on Facebook. He says, hey, Tim, what's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Schultz, what's going on? He says, afternoon, Tim. Hey, everyone. Detail, yay! Yes, detail. It's all in the details, right? We are going to start with these flippy flappies right here, these little guys. And then we'll try to move on to the rest of the skirt here. That one came right off the little thruster, didn't it? Oh well, we can still work with that because we're not going to really need it, right? So we're just going to take this one off of here as well. Yeah. If we can. There we go. All right, so these we're not going to really do too much with. They're going to stay stock, if you will. So we're going to put those off to the side as well, and we're going to focus on these two right here. And then if time permits, we'll kind of come back to that. Now, the interesting thing about these is that since this is a more of a transformable style SD, right? These are these the ones that actually fold down? I don't even know. It doesn't look like it. I don't think they are. No matter. But these would basically in the real mobile suit. Look at that. It's not even like the right shape or anything. That's kind of janky. Great job, Bandai. These would basically fold down into the skirts and all that jazz. That would basically be in the unicorn mode, but we're going to kind of dress this up a little bit, yeah? So we got to decide what we're going to do here. I think first things first is we need to fill that little box in. So for that, we're just gonna run that over with some 1/2 millimeter plastic sheet, plastic strip, paw plate, if you will, right? Let's see. Channel says streams better on YouTube on my end. Going to jump back over there. Cool. Yeah, wherever you want, man. Just the fact that you're watching is awesome. All right, so this should be, that's 3/4. We don't want that. That's gonna be a little bit too thick. We just want 1/2 mil. Just half. Half is fine. Half is good. That's half. There we go. Now we found what we need. So, and that's perfect, man. That's just wide. Focus. There we go. Just wide enough to glue right over top of that. So we're going to get a couple little pieces of this. I think this is probably like 4.8. Get a couple pieces of this while we're at it. We're going to glue this down to both sides, even though we're only going to work on one, right? Just to knock out 2 birds, 1 stone, essentially, right? So, first things first, we got to get rid of this. That is not conducive to good modeling practices. These are. Boom. There we go. All right. So, with that said, we're going to pull in our boy Bob Smith and his glue, because it's just so very, very good. And we're just going to get a slathering right here on the rim of that box. Yeah? And, excuse me, we are going to apply these right here. Ooh, straighten it out, straighten it out. Before that glue catches. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got it. Alright. So we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, but let's load the tweezers with that little piece of plastic here. And same thing over here. We're going to just slather that up and apply that plastic strip there. Now, obviously, we cut way more than what we needed. That was on purpose so that we had overhang on all 4 sides, so we can trim this completely to the appropriate dimensions of this little box so we can fill it properly, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to hit this with a little bit of an Insta-set here. Boom. Let's do that same thing, just right there, just a little there, just a little drippy drop there. All right, so. Ha ha, hee ha, hoo ha. Channel says, yeah, a bit stuttery on Twitch for some reason. Yeah, I mean, it's Twitch. Everybody's on Twitch right now, right? Everybody's probably on YouTube, but their infrastructure is probably way better than Twitch right now as well. So, there's that. Anywho, William says, add thickness to that butt. Anyway. All right, so let's take a look here, and let's get this, let's get all this low-hanging fruit clipped off of here, yeah? Just like that. That's perfect. Now we're going to end up beveling this plastic down to kind of match the contour of the existing piece, right? But let's get it trimmed first, yeah? Just going along here. Let's see. Same process as all the other times that we've trimmed plastic back. Just let your blade ride right across the surface of the piece that you're forming to. And this side, this is a low side, so we're just going to start that beveling process right out of the gate with this side here. There we go. That looks nice. All right, let's get this side trimmed up here now. Very good. Excellent. All right, so now we can go back and start to bevel all the other three sides with this. And for this process, I'm just going to go ahead and start off by cutting in the bevels here, right? And then what we'll do is we will scrape these down to even them out. Just like that. Looks pretty good. And then what we'll do as a final step, we'll come back in here with one of our sanding blocks and just kind of really even everything out. Flatten these bevels, get them nice and even, all that good stuff. Because right now they're semi-clean, but they're not quite there, right? Not quite there. All right, there we go. Good stuff there. All right, so, hey now. Blight me. New follower. Thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Mecha Army. You get one of these. Hey. Let's see. A. Schultz says, kid-friendly stream, yo. It's okay. We're all 7 here. Yeah. Greg Blair's over there on Facebook. He says, hey, Tim, just sneaking a peek while at work. Take care. Hey, man. Greg, I saw that you had sent me a message, and I will get back to you here very, very soon, later today. So don't think I didn't see it, but yeah. Chris Pab says, where are my corgi emojis? Why would you want corgi emojis? Do you have corgis, Pabs? Ranger Chris says, going to be ducking in and out. Got to work on some things. All good. Armina with the dog emoji. Close enough. Yeah, she says. Shiba face is good enough. Like even why. Blake Me says, had to wait for you to put the blade down. You know what? I appreciate that. I really, really do. That comes from the heart. Good stuff. Chris Papp says, why wouldn't you want corgi emojis, Tim, you monster? How am I a monster for asking the question? Are you projecting, Chris? Is that what this is? Are you projecting your deficiencies onto me because you're not proud of yourself? Was it a troubled childhood? Or are you just not satisfied with your current SD model? We can't answer these questions for you, Pabs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we could always psychoanalyze you on tomorrow night's episode of Mechanism. Interesting. Now that I think about it, might be a good theme for tomorrow night's show. Psychoanalyze Chris Pabs. We can all take turns. I can't wait to hear Armita's analyzation of your psyche. Oh boy. And Mikkel for that matter. Holy shit. He'd be like, just throwing up hand signals. Psychoanalyze his psycho frame of mind. That was okay. That was okay. Pab says, you don't want to go down that twisted tunnel, friends. Yeah, same could be said for us all. Anyway, let's get to cleaning these bevels up here real quick, yeah? All right, so we got our little sanding block. And yes, I'm using this sanding block and not my my MDF ones because these are a little smaller, so a tad bit easier to control under finer conditions. And you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull out the file here, and that's what we're going to do because this is so raised. We can actually use the file and be good. There we go. Good there. Very good. That side could be better. This one's already pretty flat and decent, so I'm not going to touch that one. But this one right here, a little questionable. It's a bit questionable. There we are. That's much better. Yeah. All right. So, first exercise down. There's that box, and you can kind of see the nice bevels on that all the way around, looking good. That's what we want. So next process. Now this is when this gets set up here. This is going to be kind of like this, right? So I'm thinking. Plate up down yonder here, but we do some relief detail kind of in there as well, right? Yeah. All right. A Schultz, definitely more primer layers. Tex Marquise, Miss Armida, she says, ogres and Pabs models are like onions. They have layers. Jesus. Footy always says you could make a corgi corn. Nah. Hashtag Team Primer, right? There's Bill. Mr. Rushlami says, is this a psychoanalyze of Pabs or a psycho psychoanalyzes Pabs? You calling me a psycho? Come on, man. Foodie always says Pabs gets a psycho frame. Yeah. A. Schultz says, Tim, did you file this year's plastics yet? What? Well, what? I don't get it. Plastics? I don't... Explain it to me, Ace. I don't know. Written wisely. Semantics. Yeah. Let's see. Bri Guy, he's over there on YouTube. What's going on, Brian? Bill says, depends on who is asking the questions. Fair. A. Schultz, you were filing plastic. I get it, but still. I get it, but I didn't get it. Fair enough. Like filing taxes. All right. Let's see. Armida says, Corgi Corn? Hey now, I'm still waiting to see the humming bear guy. Yeah. It's a work in progress, shall we say. Foodie Boy always says, Corgi Corn versus humming bear guy on mechanism. Interesting. Ha! And this is way funnier than it probably should be, but Sparion says, calendar jokes. Ha, dirt. Yeah. Pab says, I'd love to see a Corgi piloting a Natchin tank, please. Then talk to Terry. Much like Terry's tank, as Chris Pabs followed up. Yeah. Well, Pabs, get it done. You can do it. I mean, come on. Don't you have more room in your, like, list of projects? And you're only making a 1/100 Yak Mirage Twin Tower. I mean, shit, how long does that take? Christ. Anyway, here we go. Let's get something done, shall we? Because we didn't get shit done yesterday at all. Like, at all. Sucked. Bad, too. Just super bad. But I want to get stuff done today. I really, really, really do. Really do. Alright. So, with that being said, we are going to extend this line down the side here so we know where our plating is going to end, right? Because we're going to plate this side, we're going to plate this side. We're going to have some fun with this thing. We're going to get a little creative. Yeah? Y'all like creative, right? Creativity. Creative Timothy. Might be a thing. Let's see. I'm trying to find some 1/2 millimeter plate that I can cut up here. This is 0.3, I think. Yeah. That's not going to work. Alright, so we're going to have to dig in the... Oh, wait. It's this right here. This, my friends, looks like a winner. This, I believe, is 1/2 mil. On the money. Sweet. Alright. So now, we can just take that and pop that. Oh, wait. Is it not? Is it wide enough? Ah, yeah, if we angle it the right way, it is. Coo. Coo, ka-choo. Nice. Alright. So, what we'll do, line that up appropriately, and then we'll kind of make a rough cut mark right there. So now, the next step is to get out our T-square here, and rip this down, score, snap. There we go. And then we can just attach this guy just bing, right there. Yeah. 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 All right. So we need to get a little super glue up on this. Just like that. And let's get this a little bit more spread out here, yeah? Just use a little scrap piece of plastic sheet to spread that glue around that area. And then we'll come in here and ever so carefully place this plate. Ah, come on. Don't grab. Right about there. Little short. Little short there on the corner. Not a problem though. Not a problem. I have contingency plans for that. All right, bring in our 1, 2, 3 block. Press that down into place. Yeah. And we'll wait for that to cure for a few seconds. Let's get caught up in the chitty chat. Let's see. Amita says, I'll just put a box on my dogs. There you go. Good enough. Pretty much. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas is over there on YouTube. He says, happy Turtly Thursday. Doesn't rhyme. I was going to say Tuesday. That would have been wrong. Chris Pab says, I totally have time for another project. Let me just not do anything else ever. Damn, you guys. Like, is Pabs, like, sassy today, or is it just me? Jeez. Like, he is full of the sass. Wow. Commissar Stanley over there on YouTube, he's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, Tim, when applying decals, how soon should I apply microsol on a decal? I'd also use microset beforehand? Question. Should I use it even when on a large flue at surface? A large flue at I don't know what you're... Sorry, Stanley. Not following that last bit. But anyway, the thing to keep in mind about microsol is that you don't have to use it on every decal. Microset is going to help the decal adhere to the surface. And if you have a smooth surface, then you don't need to really soften that decal up any more than, what it's going to do, with the microset. Now, what I would say is if you have a decal going around a sharp curve or a complex shape, or even over like a panel line or something, then that would be when you want to apply microsol. If you're going over a panel line, take a very, very sharp X-Acto blade and just slice right across that decal over that panel line, and then you put your microset down. That will help that decal sink into the panel line and everything. But what I would definitely do is give it at least a few hours for that microset to partially evaporate, right? You don't have to give it the whole 24, 48 hours or whatever to let it completely dry, because you're just applying moisture again to it anyways. So give it maybe an hour or two just to get fairly dry, and then go ahead, do whatever you need to do. If you need to cut it. What also is good is if you do happen to get silvering, take a brand new X-Acto blade and just slightly puncture the decal where the silvering is, and then apply a little bit of microsol to that, and that should help with the silvering a tremendous amount. And that little cut that you had made, it'll just disappear because of the microsol. So hopefully that works, right? Chris Pab says, Tex, I eagerly await photos. Oh, of her dogs in boxes. Yeah, Yeah, that should actually be pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. She says, "You're in luck, Chris. I don't want to work right now." Well, do any of us? Let's face it. But yes, I think we'd all like to see those pictures. So, or me to get on it. Charles Dodge says, "Nah, the Eldora Brute painted in corgi colors." Okay. Bry Guy says, "Ooh, we're talking about corgis." I mean, some of us are. He says, "My lucky day." There you go. Futabeo, he says, "Tim is a streaming corgi. So buy Mecha Decals," he said. Yes. Go buy Mecha Decals. Absolutely. 100% yes. Let's see. Written Wisely over there on YouTube. Hey, they have a question.
We have a question.
He says, "I saw a video on a specific scoring tool from Tamiya. How does it differ from an X-Acto knife or a hobby knife? Is it a thinner blade for more accurate scoring?" What I'm guessing is that you probably saw a video of the Tamiya Scriber, which in no way, shape, or form is the same as a BMC Chisel or a Madworks or anything. The name that they gave that is a complete and utter misnomer. Or a shitty name for those that don't understand what a misnomer is. It scores plastic so that you can bend, snap, all that stuff together. Me personally, I think it's kind of a useless tool, but some people really dig it. I don't know. But I think that may be what you're talking about. It's hard to kind of gauge just from, the little bit that you gave us. But that's a fairly common tool, and when people go searching for chisels, or they search for scribers, they're going to come out across the Tamiya Scriber. And I've seen countless people get that, and they're like, "Why my panel lines suck?" Well, you got the wrong thing, Cupcake. That's why. Yeah, I wouldn't. Just don't even pay attention to it. Honestly, just go with a hobby knife. That's all you need. A good hobby knife will get you through this hobby better than any other tool in existence, I think, honestly. So yeah. Let's see. Commissar Stanley says, "I meant to say flat surface." Oh, the flu. Yeah. The flu. Should I use it even on a large flat surface? Nah, you don't need to. Like I said, you don't need to use micro sol on flat surfaces. It's just it's a waste at that point, to be honest with you, unless your surface is hinky, right? If it's got surface imperfections, if it's got if you've got orange peel or something like that, then you might want to think about it. But if you're doing a solid, surface finishing job beforehand, you shouldn't have that. And of course, if you're using a high gloss, clear coat, you should be perfectly fine on flat surfaces, honestly. So yeah. Let's see. Pab says, "If you're talking about the Tamiya Scriber, it's easier to score consistently with it." I don't really think so, but I think it's a complete waste of money, but that's just me. Persistent Turtle says 1 and 2 to practice. There you go. Oh, bought 2 sets of Mecha dollars? Mecha decals, yeah. 1 and 2 to practice. Nice. That's awesome. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate it. And support the cause, of course. Word. Gumpa Uruguay. Corgos. He says, "I love those dogs." A. Schultz. Yay, BMC. Sparion says, "Saw BMC chisels on Amazon in the $100 range this morning. That's highway robbery." Chris Pab says, "The thing with the Tamiya Scriber is that it's a V-shaped blade, creating a V-shaped Panel line not good. Chisels are flat, sharp-edged, creating the right type of panel line. Yeah. Pabs says, which is why, to me, a scriber is great for scoring. Is it, though? Is it? Let's see. A. Schultz says, oh, I just ordered some for around 15 to 30. Yeah. Josh Brown is over there on YouTube. He says, how's everyone doing? What's up, Josh? Good to see you, buddy. Ty Furious is also over there on YouTube. He says, I use Tamiya Scriber to score large pieces of styrene. I mean, to each their own, right? But, I mean, me personally, I'd rather get one of these little Olfa utility knives with the replaceable blade and use that for scoring, cutting, and all the other different uses that I can use it for, right? Let's see. Written Wisely says, I was thinking of just sticking with a hobby knife, but thought I would ask someone who constantly creating new panel lines. Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just a waste. For me, it's a waste. Let's see. Sparion says, yeah, Amazon is going crazy. Yeah, there's some of the things. A. Schultz says, Sparion PME on Facebook per Conateer when you get, oh, yeah, those Olfas are made. Yeah, they are. HR148 to me, a scriber uses Olfa blade. Yeah, but still, why would you buy a completely other tool when you can have that for probably half the price and so many more uses? I don't know. Maybe it's just my logic. I don't know. You guys do you, though. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all what to do. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's it. That's all. That's all we got. All right. Clipping off the low-hanging fruit here off of this this piece. And there we are. Not too shabby straight out of the gate. But let's do some cool. There's a big gap right there. Son of a... Yo! There's a huge gap. What the hell? Oh, that didn't go down. That did not go down very well, kids. That's not good. Alright. We can fix it. We can fix anything made of plastic. Just little drops right here on the edge, and simply by capillary action, that glue is drawn down into that gap, right? And let's see if we can get a decent grip on this here. Right in there. Cool. Alright, and we have squeeze out. That's much better. That's much better. That's what we want to see. That's exactly what we want to see. We want that glue to squeeze out. That way we know it's fully spread out under that gap that for some reason we had. So that's really good. Really, really good. Alright, cool. So... just get these edges cleaned up here. Now these don't have to necessarily be perfect right now, especially this side, because we're going to plate over this side too. We just want to get this as even as possible here, so we can lay down that plastic, and it'll hopefully lay down smooth, right? That's the intent anyways. The intent was also for the top part to do that, but see what happened there, right? Sheesh. All right. All right, this side, nice and smooth. Really, really good stuff. Now, this side here, we were kind of waiting for the glue to cure. So we'll come back here, just kind of start taking off, squeeze out the first little layer of plastic there, and that looks good. All right, so now bring in our little sanding block here. And much better, much better. All right, so now what we're gonna do, since we have that little overhang there, we're gonna go in with this, and we're gonna create a nice little beveled shape there that we can then clean up at a later date here in just a second once we plate this side. All right, let's see. Yeah, good. All right, so that's perfect right there. And let's see if this is cool. So this 6.3 millimeter strip is going to be a perfect size for that side there. So what we're going to do is we're going to even this up on the chopper over here. Get a nice square end. Just like that. Then we will clip that a little long. Let's get a little super glue on here. Probably way more than what we really need. But at this point, it's kind of better to be safe than sorry, considering what happened to the first piece of plastic we laid down this afternoon, right? So let's start placing this guy here, actually. Clean up that edge just a bit before we lay that down. Now we can go to work. Good. All right. Pressing that down in place and hoping that we've got proper glue spread out underneath. I mean, we've got a lot of squeeze out on all sides, so that's a good indicator. But what we'll do is we'll hit this with little shots of Instaset here. Boom. All right. So we'll let that sit here for just a few seconds. Now, let's see. Let's get caught up, shall we? Let's see. A. Schultz says, I hoard tools, don't know why, it's silly. There's nothing silly about it. Tools are great. Josh Brown says, building a master grade RX-75 gun tank and having issues with the plastic being brittle as hell. Parts breaking left and right. Never had a kit do that before. What stage are you at when you're building right now, John? Are you just snapping it together initially, or are you kind of near the end? Let us know, because we might have there could be causes for that, right? Let's see. A. Schultz says, I get gaps like that quite a bit, and I end up having to putty, and man, that's tedious. Dude, just use super glue. Just spread it back on, and you'll be fine. Trust me. Chris Pab says glue spread was no good, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Well, I had to pull it up there once, and I think that was the trick. I think that was the thing that did it, right? Let's see. Josh Brown says it's the inner frame bits mostly. Okay, but where have you? Let me ask you this: did you paint it? And did you apply Tamiya or other some sort of enamel panel liner to it? Snapping the parts together, mostly joint pieces. Ah, okay. So you're still snapping. I'd imagine those inner frame pieces are ABS. Huh. Dude, the best thing I can tell you is don't. If you feel like you're forcing those pieces together, don't force them together. Using a panel line pen. Ah, okay. Okay. I wonder if that's enamel, though. I don't know. I've never worked with the pens before. Does anybody know if those are enamel? Because this is the thing, John. He says, I wonder if the pen is making it weak. Yeah, well, see, that was my suspicion going into the line of questioning. Enamel, A. Schultz says they are not enamel. Okay. It's a possibility. I don't know. It's one of the Gundam pens. Anybody know what those are? Like, what kind of paint are in those? I mean, shit, if it's lacquer, that could be. Is a solvent-based ink. At least the Gundam markers are. Okay. A. Schultz says, if it's the GM Gundam marker panel line, it's their India ink. Now there is a fine tip marker that's require that some use. But yeah, you lost me on that last bit, Mir. I don't know. Ty Fury says, pretty sure they're alcohol. See, I don't know. I've never used the pens before. I've always stayed away from them. So it's alcohol based lacquer. Okay. Not knowing which is which, unfortunately, is yeah, Josh. I don't, man. What I would say is this. Lay off the panel line pen, especially on bare plastic. If you're going to panel line, especially like ABS, use something a little bit more gentle, right? Like a wash or something, right? One of the I don't know where it is, but one of the best things that I've kind of come across that is very, very gentle is liquid watercolor from like craft stores and stuff, and you can buy it online and all that too. But liquid watercolor is actually pretty good because it is watercolor. It's water and pigment. That's it. So obviously it's not going to penetrate any of the plastic or anything like that, right? So what I would probably do, lay off the panel line pen, see if that makes a difference in the rest of the pieces. Because if you're seeing brittleness, especially in ABS, something had to have changed that material chemically, right? Because ABS is extremely, extremely resilient, but some chemicals will change it and make it very brittle, right? Yeah, Bill, that's actually a decent idea. Bill, Mr. Ruslam says, spray a gloss clear coat before panel lining, problem solved. Yeah. I mean, you kind of get lower tolerances, especially on joints and stuff like that, so it's a bit tough. And what I would also say to do is, if you're going to go that route, keep the panel lining kind of away from the stress points, right, where the joints and everything move and flex and all that. Keep that away from those different points, and that should hopefully get you into a little bit better territory. But like I was going to say, on the flip side of that, you could always get some, like, you know, concentrated watercolor, like in black. I have that, and it works pretty well. Just an idea. Just an idea. But I honestly think that something chemically is going on with the pen that you're using in the ABS, if it's ABS. If it's polystyrene, it could have the same type of characteristics happen, could have the same behaviors. But it's hard to say. Hard to say. So, Josh, good luck, man. Good luck. All right, so let's see. Ruslam says glue started drying and then he moved it. Yeah, glue will typically dry from outside edges in. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what happened. Let's see. Terry T says, one could always scratch build a cube. I think that will be a palette cleanser after my SD. Yeah, right? Just a cube. Try it. It's harder than you think. Sorvon Zero says, ugh, I hate ABS so much. It's not that bad. You just gotta know how to work with it. Everybody's trying to help out our boy Josh. Excellent. Okay, good. So, back to this. What time is it? 4:06. Sweet. Plenty of time. All the glue here should be dry. Instaset should be good, and we should be free and clear to start trimming everything back. Okay, so now let's get this done here. We're just letting that knife float right across the surface. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, bottom side here is next. Good. Okay. Just holding this piece to be able to trim this is a little bit more on the difficult side here. Good. Just evening everything out, scraping it down like that works wonders. Take our sanding block to this edge here. Perfect. All right, last but not least is this little corner deal that we made. Okay, same thing there. Even that up with the sanding block. And that looks really, really quite nice. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is we have a little bit of a placement issue right here. So that's not a huge deal. We're going to simply cut back on this ever so slightly, maybe about 1/4 of a millimeter or so. Just cut right through that plastic strip there, and we're actually going to need to trim just a bit more off of there to make that nice and even. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. All right, and then we'll take our hobby knife and pop those right underneath of those little cuts. That comes right off, and we are in really good shape there. Now, last thing to do here is to clean off the glue squeeze out on this top edge. And as always, we do our vertical cuts first when cleaning up glue squeeze out. And then we'll come back with our surface cut and get right underneath of that glue. And if you did your vertical cut deep enough, this should pop off, but it's not, so I obviously did not make my vertical cut anywhere near deep enough. Alright, that should be good. Boom, just like that. You can kind of see right there how that little shard of super glue just pops right off, right? And that leaves you with a nice clean corner. And then you can kind of come back and just trim any little bit of excess off here. There we go. Just like that. Alright, so there's our beginning layer, right? That's what we're starting with. Just kind of scraping this surface down here right up against the panel. Just to make sure we got every little bit of super glue squeeze out there. But that looks really good. Alright, so there is our plated up back skirt thus far, right? Let's see. Let's get caught up here real quick. Let's see. Ricky Paul Carlson says Vallejo has an acrylic black wash. Easy cleanup. Easy water cleanup excess. Just be careful to not over wipe the actual panel line. There you go. A. Schultz says I have a PDF on all the Gundam marker pens and markers that I can send you, Tim, for future reference. Yeah, sure. Tex McKee says one dog saw what I was doing to the other and bolted. Jesus, this should be really entertaining. I'm not going to lie. Josh Brown says, thanks for the help and tips. Enjoy watching the stream. Awesome. Thank you, Josh. A. Schultz, if anyone wants the Gundam marker PDF, I have as well. I can give a copy. My Bandai rep gave it to me years ago. Yeah. There you go. Pab says, they knew what was up. The price to pay for being a pilot was too heavy. Armida says it was heavier. It was the heavier one that ran off. Yes. Jesus. William Williams says, can you post it on the Mecha Army Facebook group? That's actually a really good idea. If you're not a member, join the Mecha Army Facebook group, and you can just post it there for everybody. That'd probably be really helpful if you wanted to. Armida says, Chris can do whatever he wants with it. Nice. I PM'd it to him. Ay. But did you send it to me? Let's see. Probably not. No. Typical. Let's see. A. Schultz says I sent it to Tim, so he's welcome to post that. I do not think I'm in the Mecha Army Facebook group page. Yeah, dude, look, join it up, man. Join it up. Commissar Stanley's got a question. All right, let's go here. So he says, when applying the Tamiya weathering effects packs like the ones used on airdrop, do you dab it like a sponge or use it similar to dry brushing? Is there any other techniques? Do you blend it? Yeah, I just kind of brush it on. And now, mind you, this is the big thing to keep in mind, is that I brushed it on using the little sponge applicators to a gloss surface, right? Most people will tell you that you don't want to do that. I call bullshit, because you can blend them beautifully and get awesome gradients and stuff out of that. And the surface variance, the color variance on the surface is just beautiful in my opinion. So don't let people tell you can only apply it to a flat surface. Demons. But no, you can definitely apply it to a gloss surface, but yeah, just brush it on, because like I said, it's not a powder. It's got a bit of moisture to it. So yeah. Let's see. Terry T says, being on a tight budget, it's hard to decide what items are essential for me to spend money on. After seeing you use the NT cutter so many times now, I think I'm going to pull the trigger and get one. They're inexpensive, right? He says, even if it's going to take more than a month to get to me via Amazon, I think they're still Prime, so I think they still have stock in their warehouses at this point. So I don't know, Terry. I don't know. Bill says, Terry, if you have a hobby knife, stick with it. Working on a budget can work if you are willing to get creative. True, yeah. Terry T says, I'm due for buying more blades anyway, so I think it's time. There you go. Yeah, that works. That works. Cool. All right, so back to this. Excuse me. Let's get these surfaces sanded so we can kind of plot our next move here, yeah? All right, there we go. Good. So now we can lay down some graphite and kind of decide what we want to do next here, right? So what I'm thinking, is this. Kind of a thing like this here. Do a little bit of a border here on this piece. Kind of like that, right? Not have a bottom, just kind of let that piece kind of float there. And then what we could do is a mixture of additive and subtractive details, right? Maybe something along those lines. What we could do is this. Have this part right here. Have this part right here be the raised bit. Just like that. And have it overtake, just kind of flow over this little plate here, and have it glued onto the original surface. Yeah. I think I like that. I think I like it. Cool deal. All right, let's go with that. So before we get into that, let's we need to kind of plot our moves here. Yeah. That's going to be too big for that side, so we're probably going to need to go 1.5. Let's see. There she is, 1.5. That's perfect there. And then that is... that'll be good there. Sweet. Okay. We're good on that side. So now... not so much with that one, but let's see here. This, yeah, there we go. Ha! Talk about coming in the clutch. Look at this. Look at this little. That's a it's a 1x1. Let's see, a 1x1 millimeter. Strip. This is a 1.5 by 3/4, something like that. Yeah, so that'll come in real handy. This will come in handy, and let's see where let's mark our line definitively using this little guy here. That's our top line. Just like that. That's nice and dark. So now we have a stopping point for our panel line that we're going to scribe now. So we're going to grab our 0.15 and we're going to get to work here. All right. I'm going to put that off to there. And let's see. Okay, so there's our first line scribed in. Perfect. Let's get our second one scribed in on this side. Alright, that's good. Let's get that reinforced now. Get that panel line a bit more pronounced, a little deeper. Same thing with this one down here. Let's get that reinforced as well. Alright, so there are two side lines, right? So now we're going to get this little guy back in here, and we're going to make our top line. And then we'll have the 3 sides to our box scribe here. Very, very simple. Okay, let's connect all 3 of these lines now together. Okay, and let's get that top line a little more reinforced. All right. So there, and I don't want to eliminate our design just yet because I want to use this as a template to take our other lines here and everything. So we're going to continue to move on here. And let's see, this line here, a little too thin. This may be a little too long in the tooth there. Yeah, it is. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. Let's get some measurements. Let's do that. That's a little under 3. So if we put... you know what? We're just going to use Dymo tape. Screw it. Because there's no... I don't want to waste my time right now creating scribing jigs and all that crap with this. I'm just going to cut a piece of Dymo tape and kind of call it a day at that point. So here's no, we're going to save that. That needs to be saved. So we're going to cut just a kind of a thinnish strip just like that, right? Now what we're going to do though is we're going to trim this down using the chopper. And we're going to use, let's see, we're going to use this this little strip right here. I don't know what that is, maybe 2 millimeter, 2.5, something like that. Get the debris off the blade, get that stop block pushed back right up against that strip, and there we go. Now what we can do is we can put this strip of Dymo up there, and that will cut us, some nice even strips. Now, I use the L blade or the L square here to kind of maneuver this in place and hold it in place so that the blade can do its job. And it seems like the blade is getting dull, so that's not great. Or the line here is getting a little bit too pronounced. So let's do that real quick. Let's get this, and let me yank. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin this around, right? We're gonna get under here and kind of get this pad lifted. Now I have a 1 millimeter by 2 millimeter strip just to kind of keep the, you see the wiggle? It's not good. I don't like that. So I put that little pad in place so that, ooh, look at that. We used all 4 sides of this. So we're going to flip this over now to the spare side. We're going to put our little strip back in place to hold this thing nice and snug. And we're going to push that down. And now that's not going anywhere. All right, so back to it. We need to get our stop block recalibrated there, just like that. And let's try this one more time, shall we? Ooh, butter. Oh yeah. Yeah, huge difference. Huge difference. Let's see. Ooh, as I dropped a piece of Dymo tape. I'll show you the difference here in just a second. Let me cut this other piece, and we'll kind of compare what these strips look like, right? So let's get zoom back in. All right, so for your consideration, here is the strip that we cut before we flip the mat. You can see on the right hand side of this strip the jaggedness, and you can see some of the backing paper under there and everything, this is not very useful for us, right? This edge is fine. This edge, not so great. Now, on the other hand, when we flipped, in here, let me show you the back side of this too, because this is even more telling. So there, come on, there you can see kind of how it slumped that Dymo tape into that groove, right? And that'll happen with the chopper. That completely happens all the time. That's normal. But that's, again, not great. Now, for comparisons, this is the strip that we cut after we flip the mat. Perfect on both sides of the tape, right? So if you're getting that jaggedness, it's time to either rotate or flip your mat. Plain and simple. So, yeah. This piece of tape right here can be scribed on both sides. Zero issues. So, there you go. That's why it's important to flip the mat or rotate it whenever you kind of get that groove there where the blade is. So the blade on this is still fine. It's the mat. That's all it was. It was the mat. All right. Get our block back into place here, and excuse me. What we're gonna do is to lay down some tape here. Yeah. And that right there is the perfect width for that whole box, but it's not what we want right now. We want a small piece of 1 millimeter now, right? So we got to find a 1 millimeter piece of, or is this 0.75? That might actually be better in our case. Yeah, that's actually probably going to be better right now for us. Because what we can do, this right here is 0.75, isn't it? No, that's half mil. Shit. This is 0.75 on the money. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a 0.75 millimeter strip, and we're going to bump our stop block right up against that. Now, technically, this should get us to approximately 1 millimeter, and hopefully that will be kind of what we're gonna need here for the our cuts, right? So, boom, right there. Carefully remove the tape that's stuck to the blade, and let's measure the width of this. Ha 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 ha. Almost dead on. That says, if you can't see it on the screen, that says 0.99 width. 0.99. So we're dead on balls accurate. It's an industry term. All right, so we're going to put the chopper off to the side. We're going to bring our block in here. We're going to put our piece back onto the block, and we are going to use one of these bigger pieces of tape to cut our lines here. I like the other one. This one right here. We're going to use that. We're going to apply that right there, and that's going to be perfect. All right, so we get the backing off the Dymo tape. Remove that. That's the hardest part of this whole freaking scenario. Place that down here. Just like that. And so now we can scribe a line between the already two established side scribes here, right? And that's going to give us kind of the end. Okay, so there, our line is established. Now we just need to go back, reinforce this, and then that's going to give us our kind of upper box scribe on this thing, for lack of a better term, you know. So okay, clean up the two sides there. All right, so now we can bring in our 1mm, which is going to bisect this box and basically give us a perfect middle line horizontally on this upper box of the back skirts here. Okay, so we'll place that right there, just below the upper panel line on this box, right? And then we'll do the same thing. We'll cut this in, and then we can kind of move on to our raised details. Okay. Now, let's see what we did. Purdy. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. That line perfectly bisects the upper box here on this. And I know you guys can't really, or haven't really seen the finished or even the work in progress that we're doing here, so you kind of have to trust me when I say this is looking mighty good. But it is, just saying. All right. That looks nice. All right, so we'll put that away. Chisel discipline at all times. Now, the big thing here is to find our inner point, our inner measurement for this raised detail, and our outer points, right? So that's 6. That's 4. Here's 3.2. What's that look like? That actually looks like it's going to work right there, 3.2. So we're going to draw a hard line right there at 3.2 millimeter. And so that will be our placement guide for when we go to glue this strip in. Now, what is this going to be, 3.2 or 4 millimeters, kids? I think it's going to be about 3.2. Slightly under, actually. Imagine that. So we're looking at about 2.5. Let's see if this works. Yeah. That's going to look great right there. I'm with it. Okay, so now we need to find the angle. This angle right here, right? We need to know what that is. Now, there's two ways that we can do this. We can grab our amazing angle gauges that Bill sent us, or we can grab the old standby, the protractor here. Now, what I think I'm going to do is Bill, I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to grab the protractor first and kind of see what we've got here, because this will be fairly easy to gauge here. A little less acute than that, so we're looking at about maybe 55 or so, and just keep dialing it in. A little more, so we're going to notch that down to 50. And ooh, we're so very, very close. Boom. That angle is 51 degrees. 51 degrees. That's what that angle is right there. So that is the same angle that we need to cut our strip at, right? Now, if we were to use a 50, would it be a huge deal? Probably not at this point, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to grab our angle gauges that Bill did send us, and we're going to grab right here, the 50. Boom, just like that. And now, based on his trick, we're also going to grab the 90 to use as our float, which is what I call it. And I'll show you kind of his setup here that he gave us. Let's get that zoomed back here. Let's bring the chopper back in over yonder here, right? So we need this 50 right up against that blade, right? And we need the stop block. Well, actually, we don't really need the stop block, so we'll actually utilize the stop block. So for this, we need to raise this bridge up a really good amount, right? And what we're going to do, what he showed us, is to put this little guy as our float or our spacer, and then this whole system kind of just bridges the gap there and holds everything nicely in place. So then we can just tighten down our little hold, our little bridge guy there, real nice and tight. And we've got the 50 right up against the blade. Good. And now we can cut our strip here. Watch your fingers. And let's see if that works. Yeah? Fingers crossed. All right, let's see. That is actually very kind of off. This is the 50? Yeah. What's up with that? What's up with that? So, you know what? I think I know my problem. I think I need the 40. 50 minus 90. Shit. See, you got to know this math stuff here, folks. Got to know the math stuff. That's important. So let's pull the 40 out, because it's 50 degrees minus the 90 is 40. So this will be less acute than what we have in there right now. So, right like that. Let's try this one more time. Let's see what we've got. Yeah. Just like that. That actually looks a lot better, just eyeballing it. And let's see. And that, kids, is on the money. Perfect. It's perfect. Perfect. Perfectly what we need. All right, so with that being said, let's clean up our mess here. Let's get our chopper put back together. Let's put our... Actually, now that I think about it, I think we're going to need some other pieces here. So we're going to actually leave the chopper set up here with this, with these two. We're just going to put this off to the side for 1 second here. And let's get this back into play. Let's get you zoomed in. Boom. What time is it? 4:46. Sheesh. All right. Let's see. Just like that. And we'll come up. And like I said, we're going to extend this raised bit up over here. And we're going to have to pad the underside of that for it to look appropriate, right? So I think we're going to come up about 2 or so millimeters. And what we need to do is mark our top point, right? And then measure 2 over from there. Maybe just a little bit more due to the thickness of the pencil lead here, but let's see. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. All right, so now what we can do is trim this a little high. Well, actually, we can just cut it on this using the right about there. And we can just use our little chisel blade as kind of a guillotine, right? And we put that right up against the steel arm and pop. Just like that. So that should be good there. Now, the convenient thing is that if you turn this cutoff strip around and you turn it the other way, that is a perfect match to that angle, so that you can stack those pieces and be completely good. But it's not what we're concerned with as of right this second. What we are concerned with is the placement for this. And yeah, that starting to come together. I dig it. I dig it. All right, cool. So what we're going to do next, excuse me, is to pad this with our strip here. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to use that cutoff as our kind of template. And what all we really need to do is run a line right across that strip, right? And that's where we need to glue 0.5 millimeter to. And we can use any piece of plastic or anything like that, any sort of straight piece of strip, and we just glue that on there and then trim off the excess, right? But that's the top side, so we don't want to glue it there, do we? No, we don't. So what we do want to do is transfer that line off to the side there, and then do the exact opposite. Right about there, or so. A little low. Nope, still low. All right. Sweet. That's what we want. Okay, happy nanners. Let's get that laid down there. Let's get this loaded into the tweezers. Let's get that picked up. Let's get a little bit of super glue on here. Whoa, got way too much. Just a little there. Let's get the damn little spready thing here. Let's get that super glue spread out onto this piece. And let's carefully apply this backing strip here. Good. All right. Excellent. Now we just need to trim this back to match the contour of the piece. So we'll start with the nippers. That takes off kind of most of the work here. Just like that. And then we'll come back and ever so carefully trim the rest with our hobby knife, right? And we want to be very careful with this trimming. A very, very slight touch is what's in order here. Kind of a surgeon, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're cutting this plastic ever so gingerly. There we go. Let's do the top side here last. Actually, the top side looks pretty good, so we're just going to scrape that down. And then just use, come on. Just use a little sanding block just to even that out, because that's going to be the most visible out of all these sides is the top. That looks pretty good there. There we are. So there is our raised detail with filler piece. This should slot in really nicely right up against our main line here, our gluing guide. Just like that. Yeah. Yeah. Sweet. All right, so now we just have to glue this in place, right? So we're going to take the tweezers and we're going to grab the thicker kind of padded part up near the top. We need to be careful because there's not a lot of horizontal gripping area. So we need to be very careful with this piece because we don't want this flying off into the ether. That would be incredibly bad. There we go. All right, so now get a little super glue on that. Okay, spread that out. And moment of truth, kids. Moment of truth. Yeah. 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 I think we did it. I think we got it. I think we got it. I'm just kind of pressing that down to make sure that it's completely adhered on both the padded part and the regular part here, right? What time is it? 4:55. Okay, cool. We're going to do a few more things to this, kind of finish it out, and then we'll see what we got here, right? So, a little glue squeeze out, not a ton. That's a good thing. We are going to have to come back and kind of reinforce some of these panel lines that we covered up because, you know, some super glue has seeped into those. Not a big deal. It's easier to clean them out than to try and scribe these with this, you know, added on piece of plastic in the way, honestly. Because you can get them a lot more even this way rather than trying to scribe around this thing. There we are. Yeah. All right. So back with the 0.15. Let's get these lines popped back in here, cleaned up, looking good. Actually, let's trim back just a little glue right here. Just like that. This side actually looks pretty clean, so we're going to start with that and just make sure these lines are good. Yeah, these lines are actually pretty damn nice right now. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. Let's bring our block back over here so it's a little bit easier to work. Right there. And it gives me kind of a easy visual representation of where I am on screen, right? So, whatever it takes. Alright, so this line right here definitely saw some glue. Good. Very, very good. Excellent. All right, so now this side, I suspect, will be a little bit more of a challenge. Especially this top line here, which it is. Not bad, though. Not bad. Alright, so we got those lines reestablished there. Let's kind of get the schmutz off there, yeah? Let's see here. Good. All right. Perfect. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to do a little outline scribe around this raised piece because that will help to separate that piece a little bit more. And what we're going to use for this, we're actually going to go to a 0.20, right? And that will give it a little bit more of a pronounced look as opposed to just panel lines, yeah? Hey, look at that. Charles Dodge. Thank you, buddy. $2 super chat. He says, buy those Mecha Corgi decals. I must have missed something. I must have missed something. All right. Hey, but Charles, again, man, this dude, always giving. You get one of those. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Mecha Corgi decals. All right. What's that? Oh, that's the notification. Hey, now. All right. Let's finish this. Okay. That's looking really nice. And you'll see why the use of a 0.2 in this particular case is important here in just a second when we get kind of finished and super zoomed in. Because also what we're going to do is we're going to outline scribe the kind of entire work that we did here today. Also in 0.2 millimeter, right? Now, what time is it right now? 5:02. Yeah, we're gonna go a little long. We're gonna go a little long, kids. Hope you guys had nothing else better to do. All right. Now connect this bottom. Oh, we got a little squeeze out we got to clean up. There we go. Much better. All right, right across the bottom here. Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So now let's get the rest of this piece kind of outline scribed here. Good. Good. All right. Just a few more lines here on this. And then we can kind of get to these two bottom notches that I want to make on this thing. Sorry if I'm being quiet there, kids. I'm concentrating. And this isn't the most complex process here, quite honestly. This is pretty straightforward outlining and all of that. But once this comes together, man, it'll be great. But right now, it's just kind of the mundane scribery of it all, right? Right. One last little bit right here. And I realize we probably need to get caught up with the chat. And that's probably going to take a little bit of time. So, we'll go a little long today. This is the only stream for the day, so it's not a huge deal if we go a little long. There we go. All right, let's clean this up here. Very good. Very, very good. All right, so let's get some sandpaper in here and finish these lines. That will help us get the graphite out of there too. Let's see. Hey, Mike Toole, new follower over there on Twitch, I guess. Thank you for that. Welcome to the Mecha Army. Hey, you get one of those. Awesome. All right. All right. This is looking good, kids. This is looking good. I'm liking this. All right, any cleanup do we have to do on these? Maybe a little on those 0.15. So let's switch back to that. Let's see here. That junk clean out of there. Let's go. Come on. Perfect. All right. Very nice. Switch back to the 2.0 or 0.20, I should say. Clean that out of there. Get this one little vertical scribe popped in there to sell the illusion of this thing being separate. Okay. So there's that. Alright, so one last thing I want to do here to this top bit is to slightly bevel this strip that we put in here, right? So we're going to do that just ever so... You know what? Actually, we're not going to do that with the hobby knife because that could be dangerous. We're going to grab the scraper here. And the reason why I'm beveling this is because it breaks up all of the angles and everything, and it honestly just gives the whole piece a more mechanical look. At least in my opinion it does. Okay. And then I'm just going to slightly bevel the outside of the skirts. Just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave this a hard edge down at the bottom. Because I like the look of mixing up a beveled edge and a hard edge like that on something like this, right? But man, it's looking really nice. Really nice. Okay, so now these two little notches down at the bottom here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna raw dog these. But before we do that, well, I should say we're not going to raw dog these completely. We're going to use a little bit of dymo tape as a spacer. That's more my main concern, is the spacing of these lines. Because I want these at a perfect equilateral distance from the two side scribe lines, right? So we'll put that piece right there. And then we'll grab this little guy. Like that, and get this placed ever so carefully right there. Perfect. All right, so now we just need to scribe our, scribe our notches into place, right? Okay, let's get these two pieces pulled off here. Finalize these two little notches. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so one last thing that we're going to do. One teeny tiny little detail that we're going to add to this is just a little bit of raised detail up on the corner, right up in there, right? Just a little something, just a little thing, a hint of detail, yeah. A hint. So we're gonna go. This is 1 millimeter by half. Square off that edge. We're gonna go about 2.5 millimeters. And there's our little strip that we're going to use, right? So we need to get a little, just a teeny tiny little drop of super glue right there. And what we're going to do, gently stab that guy, get some super glue on there, and then we are going to do our best to eyeball placement just like that. All right, so now we're gonna hit this with a little Insta-Set. All right, and we're gonna let that Insta-Set kick. So there's kind of our progress thus far, right? Let's get caught up real quick with the chat, okay? Because I know there's probably a lot. Let's see. Yeah. Whew. Let's see. Not as much as I thought. Okay, cool. So Stanley's got a question over there. Let's get the button reloaded. And hey, he says, "What's the sponge you used to apply the Tamiya weathering? Was that the one provided along with it, or something else? Would you recommend using the provided tool?" Yes. The one that it comes with is great, but you don't want to use it for all the colors because then all of them just get mixed and it's ugly, right? What you want is to get replacements, and just a little pack of these little guys is like a few bucks in kind of like your local convenience store or drugstore or something like that. Very, 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 very inexpensive, and I just toss them after I use them, and it's so much easier that way. So yeah, that's all you would do. Stanley's got a second question. Okay, let's see.
We have a question.
If not, then what tool would be good? Where can I get it? Those convenience stores, Amazon. Check the Amazon link. I think I have some linked in there. I think that's what those were. But yeah, that's the exact thing that I used, and it works wonderfully. Let's see. A. Schultz says the chopper is my favorite tool. Mine too. Let's see. Ricky Paul Carlson says, and if you're on a budget, makeup sponges are sold at dollar stores. Yeah, exactly. Although you can't really get the same amount of pressure that you can with those little applicators, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Scott Day is over there on YouTube. He says, "Hello again, guys, from the White Dingo down under. I need one of them cutters. They're amazing." Bill says, "I think you can also use the silicone paint / sculpting brushes." I've never tried that. I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Let's see. A. Schultz says, Dymo tape hates me. It never sticks or stays sticking. Make sure you get the right stuff, man. Make sure you get the right stuff. It's the embossing tape. It's not the other crap. So as long as you got the right stuff, then it should be good. Terry T says, when people get mad, they flip out. When model makers get mad, they flip the mat. Hey, that's what we're talking about, yeah? Let's see. A. Schultz says, focus camera, the blurry prettiness is lovely to look at. Yeah, right? Sometimes my visor gets in the way and all that, so it happens, yeah? Let's see. Armida just put a minus sign? I don't know. Bill says, glad it works for you. Nice. Terry T says, my melted Haro is a reminder of that every day. Wow. And Micah over there on Facebook, he says, does your back hurt while doing that? Mine always hurts when I bend like that. Not so much. Not so much. See, I think honestly that I could be completely wrong on this because I'm not a doctor, but I obviously work out and I do a ton of back exercises. So I hope that the non-pain that I don't have is attributed to something like that. So if your back hurts, stretch out every once in a while, just side to side, do some, rolling spines and stuff like that. That does go a very, very long way to, kind of relieving that pain. Yeah. Charles Dodge says, while I was driving to and from my local Gundam store, someone was talking about corgis and such, and Pabs wanted corgi emotes. There you go. Superset5 says, keep going. It's not like we have a job to go to right now. Ain't that the truth? Eris385 says, Mecha overtime. Bill says, I think there is a way to add custom emotes to your YouTube page as well. Not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't have a clue. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, that didn't take long. That's awesome. All right, let's get back to this. Let's finish out for the day, yeah? All right, so visor down. Let's go back to this. Is this clear off any little excess Instaset there, yeah? Now we need to be super, super careful with clearing out this super glue squeeze out simply because of the size of this piece. Something this small will pop right off very, very easily. Very easily. So you gotta be super careful. There we go. Good start. Good there. Alright, now this side is going to be the tough side because we have such a limited amount of space between it and this little block feature, right? So, what we're going to end up having to do is pull a chisel out here and go between these two and kind of do that surface cut. There we go. Alright, so last thing that we're going to do here, actually one of the last things, we got one more step after this. We're going to do a little outline scribe to this little raised feature. And this will make it look separate, right? For this, I'm just using a 0.15 because we don't need the, significance of separation like we did on this this raised piece. And plus, I think using a bigger chisel would overshadow this teeny tiny piece here, because this is only, like I said, 1 millimeter by about 2.5, and it's only about 0.5 millimeter in thickness. So you have to take all of those measurements into consideration when you are perimeter or outline scribing something like this, right? Okay. Pretty good. All right. All right, so now that is outline scribed. We're just going to go completely around this thing one time, just to make sure all these lines are perfectly connected, make sure all the debris is out of the line, just general cleanup. Alright, so there's that. Let's get the chisels capped and out of the way. And now, last thing that we're going to do here is bevel this little itty bitty piece. And we're just doing kind of a slight bevel, nothing crazy. Just to soften the edges, because we don't really want hard edges on this, because it's such a small piece. In my opinion, if you had hard edges on this, something like this, it just loses the illusion of it being an engineered part. It basically looks like somebody just tacked on a piece of plastic. And we want to hide that fact, right? We want that illusion of scale. All right. And I think we're done, kids. I think we're done. Let me get something to prop this up even here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's get super zoomed in and take a look at this thing, shall we? Whew. Let's see. Let's get zoomed out just a... Ooh. Just so that's in frame, right? And there we are. Not bad. Not bad. Let's bring that down more in frame there. All right, so that's the fruit of our labor here today, right? We went ahead and closed up that box, beveled that out pretty nicely, plated this whole bottom section up here, scribed that with some boxes and diagonals and stuff like that, put this kind of raised little bit in there, and that's padded and overlapping onto the original surface. Plated this bottom side here, a couple custom notches, this little raised deal there. That could be a light if you wanted to. If you wanted to paint that like red or green or something like that, that could be a warning light, you know, like a takeoff landing, you know, kind of deal for like airplanes and stuff, right? Like, you know, how they have it on the wings and all of that. Or it could just be just another detail that you paint the same color as the base or whatever, right? But I think this overall is a really, really nice look, right? If we can get maybe you can kind of see there how that piece is nicely bumped up there, padded, you know, behind that down onto the surface. And as an overall, I think that looks damn good. Pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Little finish sanding here and there, but overall, yeah, good job. Not bad. Not bad. Woo, boy. All right, let's see. Aeon Micah over there on Facebook, he says, I hope one day you join the Malcolm competition here in Malaysia so I can meet you in person. Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that would be awesome to go over to Malaysia. I'd jump at that anytime. But after all this madness is done first, obviously, right? So, alrighty. So there we go, kids. That's what we did today. Hope you enjoyed it. Got a little extra out of today's episode. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so let's go camera one. Hey! Aw, MCG Jaeger coming in with the 3-person raid. What's going on, everybody? Man, you kind of missed the whole thing. We're just about to end here, man. But I appreciate the raid regardless. It's awesome. But we're getting the hat slap back on here. Guys, if you want one of these awesome white dingo hats, which I highly recommend. Yeah, MCG Jaeger says, poor timing. Don't worry about it, man. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. I appreciate it regardless, yeah? Sidewinder B4, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Let's get you one of these. Welcome to the army. Appreciate it. He says, loser, good. Get good with the timing. Nice. I like it. Julius says, can we please have show tonight? No, man, I need a night off, dude. One on Thursday, that's all. One. But I appreciate the thought. Julius. But guys, yeah, if you want one of these awesome kick-ass white dingo hats, check out www.shadamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, or this hat, you will find this hat, many more. You'll find shirts, prints of my work, the whole 9 yards. Go load up with that stimulus money. Cha-ching. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here today, I highly suggest that you hit the Amazon link somewhere down here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like we said, tools and materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming. I know a lot of you are, asking questions and stuff like that. Go peruse and pick up whatever you need. It does go to help out me, help out the stream, and basically fuel our endeavors moving forward, which are fast moving at this point. Yeah. And then, as always, if you need kits, paints, tools, accessories, what have you, Mecha Decals, Sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and his crew down there will definitely have what you need. If they don't have what you need right now, keep an eye out because they're getting a huge restock coming very, very soon, either this week or next week. So keep an eye out. If you sign up for their newsletter, you'll get notified when that all comes down the pipe. So do that for me. So that's going to do it for us today. one stream today. We're going to be back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. We're going to continue. Actually, no, tomorrow. We're doing something different tomorrow, guys. We're doing something different. We're going to work on the GBWC build tomorrow. Tomorrow during the day. Yeah, because I need to balance those two out a little bit better. Right now, we only have 2 episodes a week for the GBWC build and 5 for the SD. So if we go 3 and 4, that's a little bit more balanced, I think. And then tomorrow night, as always, Mechanism, which is everybody's favorite show. Come on back for that, 10 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And man, we're just going to do some deep, meaningful conversation the whole time. So, hope you'll enjoy it. Come on back. All right. So, with that being said, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Make sure you wash your hands. Use some common sense out there. Build something cool. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.